Ladies and gentlemen, we are back from another episode of the ABJ Podcast, episode 55 with whose house? Ed's house. I'll bring him in one moment here, but first I want to read some sponsorships, tell you guys some stuff of housekeeping, and we got to make it quick because Ed House is on location somewhere, and he probably has about 45 minutes of daylight left, so we got to get this done quick. But guys, it has finally happened. A whole store fully dedicated to vintage wrestling. They said it could never be done, but I've seen it with my own eyes. Suplex Vintage Wrestling is a store curated by wrestling fans for wrestling fans. Located on 5th Street in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, just 1 block south of South Street in the heart of Queen Village. Their shop is the largest selection of vintage wrestling apparel under one roof. Their selection includes classic designs featuring your favorite wrestlers from the Golden Age, Attitude Era, Internationals, Indies, and more. And if you're tired of watching live pay-per-views or live premium events, I'm saying pay-per-views, fuck WWE. At home, then SVW hosts the best. I just said fuck during an ad read. I love that. They'll like it too. They have the best watch parties in their store since your buddy Kyle's 12th birthday party. So make sure you go down and check those out. And if shirts and watch parties aren't your thing, they have the greatest selection of figures, replica belts, trading cards, and their t-shirts and hats are and rare wrestling memorabilia is all there. And they have something for every wrestling enthusiast out there. So what are you waiting for? Check them out at suplex.svw on Instagram or at suplexsvw.com. That's SVW. Check out the hat. Look at that thing. Wolfpack, baby. And let them satisfy your nostalgic wrestling needs. So definitely go check them out in the heart of Philadelphia. They are an awesome shop. They do a lot of cool meet and greets and signings as well. Please go support them. But also, links below for all things ABJ. Your boy's hurting right now. Not working. Car's broke. China scrap here. So t-shirts, there's tons of logos by Hunter hooked me up, Kai hooked me up, Haley Stokes, Chris Collins all made great logos for me. So if you could support and grab those logos, you can. If you're listening on the audio side of things on Spotify, there is a tab that says you could support this podcast, and it's like a monthly donation thing that'll come right out. It's like you could do like $1, $2. I don't know, it's super low, but if each episode gets 15 plays and everyone does $1, that helps me out. But there's also Patreons and all that great stuff. So if you want to support the podcast, now is the best time than ever because your boy can need the help. Also, you can check out the Discord in our link. Always come in and hang out. Great thing going on in the Discord. But that's all I got. Housekeeping out of the way. Let's get episode 55 done. Like I said, we got like 30 minutes now at daylight because I talk too much. But let's bring in the one, the only. I'm going to be honest. There's not a lot of times in the wrestling industry when someone retires, I'm like, oh, I'm bummed by that. I don't want that to be a thing. And this guy did the retirement thing, and then he came back. But the night he retired, ABJ shed a little tear because I didn't want Ed House to go anywhere because this guy's special, and I love this guy to death, and I can't wait to talk to him. And we have a bet going on in the Discord over under on how many times the word cock is said. So we're gonna have fun here. Let's get it done. Ed House in the house.
Oh shit, cock. Go on, man. One.
What's going on?
Hopefully the over-under is better than 1.
Yeah, we'll get it done. Here, I actually have my Cockosaurus.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I got that at an Oddities Con. Me and Alex Watt seen them. His is much bigger.
Well, you know, that happens when you get older, things shrink and they stop working as well. And
it's rough. It's a rough day.
It happens to us all.
All About Wrestling podcast, hard in chat. All day wrestling podcast. I know things have been tough for you. You're a dope dude. Hope things turn around for the better. I appreciate that. Thank you for hanging out in the chat. Make sure you hit the likes and subscribes and all that great stuff. But Ed House, man, how you been?
I am doing pretty well. I've been all over today. It's been a little bit of a holy cow. Serrano will need a rocket of his ass. You better run, boy. I'm on my kid's baseball game.
At a baseball
they're not doing real great, but they're having a blast. I've been good, man. I've been really good. I've been all over today. I got a passport. I shaved my mustache because my fiance would kill me if I didn't get this passport in time because I had a mustache. And they're like, well, you can't have facial hair in the picture, and you can't have glasses, and you can't do this, and you can't do that.
Did you make a funny face?
Yeah, I avoided all that. I just shaved the damn thing off and cleaned up my sideburns a little bit. I'm not as white trashy or disgusting anymore. Just on the inside, not so much on the outside. But I've been all over since like noon, dude. Like this is the first chance I've got to like sit and chill for a minute. But overall, dude, I can't complain. I feel good. I look good. but all is pretty well.
I love that for you. Like I said, how many years have you been in this business? How long have you been kicking the tires here?
17 years.
Wow.
My
And
official training start was on tax day. Tax day in, I don't know, whatever 17 minus 23 is. I studied art specifically so I wouldn't have to do math. And then I really fell in love with geometry, and I realized that all that is math. So I really shot myself in the foot. I should have paid attention in school better.
Well, actually, one of the things I was going to bring up, there's a lot of people that I've talked to who are in the business or have attempted at some point to be in the business, who are locally, who've said you were a big part of their training at one point in time. Like when they were in training, you were one of the guys there. And we're actually in the chat right now. Ryan Vox said Ed
that probably explains why they're all out of the business now too.
Yeah. I've never been afraid of anyone in the ring. Ed helped train me, and that's why I've never been afraid of anyone in the ring. You know what I mean?
Aww.
So there you go. But when did you catch this wrestling bug? When was the first early memory of you seeing professional wrestling, consuming professional wrestling? And you're going to be probably the first guest I've had in a while whose answer is not going to be CM Punk's pipe bomb or of a video game. Like so many of the younger generations, like I didn't know wrestling was a thing, and then I went to my buddy's house and we played PS3, and I was like, wrestling's a thing. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so old.
Yeah, that makes my knees hurt. So I kind of have two. I have these really early memories of being in my Aunt Sharon's house in New Jersey, and she had this glass kind of room, called it the glass room, this glass kind of Florida room, where her now deck is. And I have very vivid memories of The Undertaker and Brother Love, being absolutely in love with The Undertaker and terrified of Brother Love. That big red face would go, I love you. And I'd run for the hills, dude. Maybe, I don't know, we're talking early 90s, so I was probably 6, 7. We fast forward a couple years, late 90s, and I'm hanging out with my buddy Trav Steinley, and we're hanging out playing with action figures, and Trav had a terrible stutter back in the day. So he'd be like, what time is it? Man, these kids are hitting dingers. Nice catch! Way to go. Too bad there's no hot dogs in this game. We're sitting around, we're playing with toys, and he's like, oh, what time is it? I'm like, it's like 9:30. He's like, oh, dude, we gotta watch wrestling. We gotta go just watch wrestling. We just spent like 4 days setting up all these toys. We better kick some ass down here. So we watch wrestling, and it's Ken Shamrock and X-Pac. Two of the, like, nobody should have this memory, right? And and what's strange is I met X-Pac at a show, and I told him this story, and he laughed at me. It was cool, but he was like, "Oh, that's crazy, man." But it's him and Shamrock, and Shamrock's got the ankle lock on X-Pac. And if you're looking at the hard cam, like where you'd watch your TV, they're in the upper left hand side of the screen, and the camera like pans back, like it widens out unusually because there's some commotion in the upper, and it's this dude come running down, leather jacket, blue jeans, sunglasses, like inside in the dark, which I didn't understand. That's a wrestling thing. Leather jacket, long blonde hair, hops the guardrail, jumps into the ring, and rapes Ken Shamrock right in the face, just paintbrushes him. And it was like Triple H coming back from one of his like 19 knee operations. And I was like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. And like right there, I was hooked. And that was like, it was just before all those guys hit, like just before like Triple H became big, just before Austin had his moment, just before Rock came in. Like they were all kind of there, but they were all like, just like
it hasn't blown up for them yet.
Yeah, they were just about to. And like I got really lucky because all my buddies were wrestling fans. And then we had wrestling like in town. So we'd go to some shows locally at the field house, and like Ooh La La would be there, like plugging your shirt. And like the dude's a national treasure, you know, like
he's so good.
He's such a good dude. And he's so good, and he's so underrated because like he's old. Like he's old and he's got that eye, and everybody just writes him off. But the dude,
Bro,
still,
have you
like, there's a
heard the
reason he's still
podcast with him
wrestling.
and Tommy Vex?
No, I don't listen to anything Tommy Vex is in. That's a lot.
It's actually really
I'm
good because you don't
starting to love
expect Tommy. Yeah, you don't expect Tommy and Ooh La La to be serious for any moment at time, and
Yeah.
they do this podcast, and Tommy does a really good job because Tommy idolizes, like, loves him, like legit his favorite wrestler, like wanted to work him for years. He finally got to do it. They talk about the match, like, but then like Mr. Allah goes through the whole story of how he messed up his eye, like all of it. Like he got all that out of Mr. Allah with the story. So please go search on the High Tension Wrestling Network, Tommy Talks Tape on their YouTube channel. Dude, Tommy has a great interview with Mr. Ulala. Yeah.
I'll check that out. But we were like, and then like from there, I was always.
Are you covering your speaker, your microphone speaker?
I might be. Is it better now?
Yes, much better.
Okay. And like ever since then, I've always kind of had it on. It's always kind of been like in the background. We did the whole like backyard. We'd wrestle in my buddy's garage and break light tubes over our back and shit. We got to wrestle in our talent show. And then somewhere in like 10th grade, I was in Spanish 1 for the second time. There was some sort of like scheduling conflict, and I go to my teacher. I'm like, hey, like Mr. Noble, like I've already done this. He goes, just take the A, kid. All right. So we're sitting in there, and the kid in front of me is like, hey, like if you're a big wrestling fan, you got to meet my buddy Brock. His dad's a wrestler. I was like, yeah, I do need to meet this kid Brock, and he needs to be my new best friend. And then it turns out we have the same birthday. His stepdad, Troy Mast, ended up training me, and we did all this in like 10th grade. So at that time, they were charging like a ridiculous amount of money, right? The economy was good; they could get students. It was no big deal. And then I'm in college. We fast forward maybe 5 years. I'm a second semester freshman, 2005. 4 to 5, second semester freshman. We're in like the beginning, end of winter, like February, March. And one of the assignments for my photography class, because I went to Kutztown for a fine art degree, so they want you to be a well-rounded student, so they make you take all this shit that you have no interest in. And one of them was photography, and it was the old school black and white silver photography in the dark room, pitch black. None of that movie shit where it's a red light and you can see everything. No, you got to look at the room with the lights on and memorize your steps and all that shit. Kill the lights, otherwise your film gets destroyed. So we're doing that, and the professor goes, if you guys shoot something metallic, it'll look really good because silver is used in the photograph. And I thought, everybody's going to want to shoot the gym, fucking weight room, park benches, like all that stupid cliche shit. And I want to get as far away from that as possible. So I knew right down the road, they had that wrestling school. And I thought, worst case scenario, he tells me to go fuck myself, and spade's a spade, and that's it. And I go shoot park benches and the weight room, right?
Yeah.
So we start talking. One thing leads to another, and he's like, "Oh, well, we're training guys for, this much an hour." I've got that in my wallet. Let's start talking. He's like, "Well, go, make sure it's okay with everybody at home first." And
who are we impersonating right now?
Troy Mast.
Yeah.
Troy's always.
That's why I wanted to bring that attention.
He's always got the cough. He's got like the Troy Mast cough.
Mm-hmm.
And so we get to talking, and then that was it. It was tax day, and 3 months later, we were in the Pheasant Land Roller Dome having a match. I was wearing all kinds of ridiculous fishnets and purple and gold and makeup and all kinds of shit. Run, boy! Oh, dude, it was insane. I was wearing the most crazy shit, and I had no idea what I wanted to do. Right?
Ryan Vox said, "Spot on, Troy."
Oh, yeah, it was. It's one of the best impressions I do. Next to Zach Rain, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
We're there, we're doing the show. It's like 900 degrees in this building. The main event goes out. They do a 20-minute promo, and it's the guy heel slides in the ring, babyface challenger choke slams him, covers him 1, 2, 3. The promoter was furious. Like, there were 6 people there. My father, my brother were 2. A good friend of mine who I was trying to bang at the time was 3. Her boyfriend was 4. And then 5 and 6 was the referee's wife and their adopted kid, or somehow way or shape relation, their daughter kind of thing. And that was it. That's who was in the crowd. And like the promoter got all pissed off. And I thought, like, my buddy's going to kill this guy. And we were all like pretty close. Like that was like home base, so to speak. But that's kind of how it all started. It was it was me. Oh God, who was in this match? It was an abortion. And not like a good one that saves a life. Like this is somebody's 4th abortion. They're using it as birth control. Like it was not well done. It was done in an alley.
Like Dirty Dancing.
Yeah. But like sweatier,
Yeah.
It was myself and I want to say Tony Reyes. No, I lie. It was Tony Reyes and Tom Ugly, who I believe has since passed away. JoJo, the circus clown, old tag partner of Chio, and somebody else. Virus, and maybe it was Virus who was the promoter under a hood. And I'll say that because fuck him. Cock.
Good Gold Dust callback. I like that.
Yeah, and then like, it was a 6-man tag. It was terrible. And they're like, yeah, we might just chop. Judge was like, we might just chop the shit out of you. It's your first match. What's a chop? And I found out real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was it. A little bit of a long answer, but I like to yap.
No, I love that. That was great. This is why I was excited, because you just you have the gift of gab. Like you are insanely just entertaining at all. There's a handful of people in our local spot that I would, if I was booking a company, you're like these are my first 5 draft picks, because they could be your world champions, but also you're all good people to have backstage. You're all extremely creative and you can all talk and you're just funny. You're funny people. It'd be you, Trajan Horn, AJ Evers, Tommy Vex, and the 5th would probably be like Header, because he's like Header's just a utility player. He can literally do anything. But the other but you Trajan, AJ, and Tommy, like I fucking can't keep anything serious when I'm around any of you, because you're like always on, always. Like
Trajan, Chubby Daddy is such a good dude, man. He went out of his way to hang out with my kid at a show when I was working. And I brought the kid, and it was just the kid and I. And like, he really went out of his way to make sure my kid was in a good spot. I will forever love that dude. He's the man. Yeah. And he makes like custom action figures. Mm-hmm. Like, how fucking cool! How cool is that?
I need him back so bad. He's taking a little break, but yeah, he's such a good dude. Yeah. So when did the Ed House character or persona, like, when did it come out? When did you go from Rocky Maivia to The Rock, or like Ed to Ed House? Like, when did this transition happen where like that your guard went down? Like, you're just like, you know what? I'm just going to be unapologetically me, and I'm just going for it.
I've kind of fallen into not like never really having a gimmick. So I would try to fulfill different roles at different companies, right? South Jersey, I would be a ravishing baby face. Just, I'll fight anyone, anywhere, anytime, and I'm just so happy to be here. But in Philly, I would be like a real pussy, flamboyant heel.
And you're like, people who've never seen you, if they're watching or have never consumed your matches because they're not from the area to listen to the podcast, you're a tall dude. Like, you're very imposing. So the fact that you're playing like, and you're playing this like pussy baby face, like, oh, I'll get beat up, don't beat me up. Like, that's hilarious.
Yeah, which is tough because like I really enjoy, and it took me a long time to realize how to work as a baby face, and I really enjoy kind of fighting from underneath and like working the comeback. And then my buddy's yelling like, brother, you're too big to be taking all those bumps, brother. Don't do any of that. You watch how Stan Hansen bumps. And then when he actually takes a real bump, That's what you got to do. Like, that's why, like, Laszlo now is like, it's like, oh, Bubba, you took too many bumps, Bubba, too many bumps.
Yeah.
Well, I'm taking the fucking heat, brother. What do you want me to do? I'm taking the shine. What do you want me to do?
What I heard, in NXT, who they make the bigger guys study to learn how to bump, like bigger guys. Scott Hall.
No. Really?
Yep.
Yeah, that checks out. I joke with guys now that I'm just going to Undertaker bump them. And I'm not really going to bump. I'm just going to take a shot and then walk around the ring and make people chase me. Because he would do that and he'd blow guys up. But then, I realized, well, if I have to do that, like, I'm going to get blown up. So maybe I'll pump the brakes and stay in my fucking lane for a little bit.
I don't know how you don't get blown up, because as soon as you hit the curtain, you're screaming, you're 1,000 miles a minute, and then you go in there, like you said, you work from the bottom, so you're just getting, like, you're fighting out, like, you're an animal.
Yeah, it's definitely a workout, that's for sure. But I would try to do different things for different people, so I always kind of had a job. And then I really hit a stride, I think, in Lewistown. I was working for Rob Noxious and CCW. Get out of here, bug. In like Marysville, Harrisburg area. He do a little bit of work in Lebanon, Black Friday. And I really kind of fell into a niche of like angry heel, almost like white Mark Henry, Hall of Pain Mark Henry. But having like zero reason to be that. Like, it's like I haven't been wrestling for like 20 years and not been given an opportunity and having things taken from me. There's like no reason for me to be this angry, yet I am. But I was also kind of fighting from underneath because I was working in that company with a bunch of guys who were already established. Like they're around Mount Rushmore of guys I was kind of working with and chipping away at and blowing through. So I really got to hit a stride there. And then when we started in Lewistown, Dylan Freimer, Big Dill Freimer, Dylan Page, the Bulldog James Dillon. He goes by many names. Some even refer to him as Bubba Bear, and that could just be me. But he was like, "Hey, I like, this is what we want to do. We have this hometown guy, and we want to like make him the guy, but we need a champion, and it's right now it's like our buddy Cremator." Almost real named him. He would have beat the shit out of me.
That's why I don't learn anyone's shoot names.
So we did a bunch of matches with Cremator, and I was like, all right, like this is really good. Like, and like people love him. Like the Michael Myers Transformers gimmick, like people love it. And I'm like, well, this is so easy. I really don't have to do anything. And then they brought the hometown kid in, and it was like that match. I was like, okay, like this is who Ed House is. And it turned out that it's the guy I want to be at work. Like at the time I was a supervisor for Bridgestone. And I was just dealing with some of the dumbest fucking people, and it was no fault of the companies. It was no fault of what we were doing. It was just the local talent that we had, just guys who had done one thing like forever, and then shit got shut down and they all needed somewhere else to go. So it was guys who had been doing one gig for like 10-15 years, and it's like, oh well, this is how we did it back then. Yeah, that's good, but that was 2 jobs ago, brother. Like, this isn't how we do things. So some of that was frustrating, and I was really new to being a supervisor and managing people and figuring out how to have those conversations with folks. So it was like, that was the guy I wished I could be at work. And now, like, as a babyface, I realized, oh, I just turn that around. And like, Ed House can be the guy who I just wish I was, period. Fun to be around, enjoyable, a good time, not miserable, not
you are essentially
5-pound bag.
We said on the Tornado Tag podcast back in the day that you are essentially like, you're Shazam. You're literally, I mean, obviously you look like Shazam, but you're a big, huge superhero looking dude at your size and your height, but you have the mentality of a teenager.
Yeah, I'm a child.
Yeah, you're a man child, like, but you're like everybody wants to hang out with you, like but you're like right on the cusp between PG-13 rated R, like you're right
Oh,
there.
I think I'm between R and NC-17 or NC-17 and X.
Yeah.
Depending
One of my favorite
on what
Ed
social
House
media you
photos.
subscribe to me on.
Yeah, one of my favorite Ed House photos is with you and this fan, and she's getting a photo with you, and she has a very low cut shirt on, and the whole photo you're just like this.
Yeah, that's
you're not even looking at the camera.
yeah, and the best part was I think her husband took the photo.
Her totally took the photo. Yes.
Yeah. I think I remember the couple. I think we did that at AXW or Outbreak. I don't think it was AXW.
It was in the field house.
Yeah. So that was definitely them.
You come out. I remember when you got your first new gear, and I remember you saying, like, brother, wait till you see my new gear. Wait till you see it. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Because that was our bonding. It's just being men child. And you come out in your Ed Hub gear, which use your imagination. Corn Hub. I don't know what you can say on the internet these days. But the let's just say a splatter, Nickelodeon white splatter, predominantly on the butt.
That is the Nickelodeon. I enjoy the Nickelodeon reference.
Yeah,
it's very much slime after you reach the top of the aggro crag.
Yeah, absolutely. Seeing Ed House in person with an axe last weekend, scary as fuck. He's a big dude.
Who said that? I must have missed that one.
Wrestling all day podcast said that.
Oh yeah, that was fun. Yeah, I was very politely asked to I think never do that again. They sent me a letter and everything. When I get home, I'll post it. And the kicker is, well, I don't want to lose the job, but I've got a couple responses to the letter I was sent by AXW, and I think it'll be really funny. It depends what they think, but I think my responses will be very funny.
I don't doubt it at all. One of my favorite promos you ever did is you're doing, like, I call the car promo, where like someone just sits in their car and they're like, here's why I'm going to beat you, and da 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 da. You started off like that. You're like dead serious. When I show up this weekend, and then you're like, oh, and then you zoom out and you're on the toilet.
Yes. I was also very politely asked to never shoot toilet promos by a promoter before also.
You should shoot every promo on the toilet. I think that should be your bit.
That was kind of where I was headed. I wanted to do, I remember watching Batman 89, and there's a scene where the Joker is talking to, I think he's talking to Vicky Vale when he breaks into her apartment, and he's like, I was in the bathtub the other day, and I had this thought, and I thought, man, like that would be a great way to start a promo, just in the bathtub, like playing with toys or doing like whatever, but just be in
I
the
am
bathtub.
The shampoo, and I am the conditioner.
and it was after, I want to say it was after my mother had died. My then wife, now ex-wife, and I we moved back with my father to make sure he didn't go batshit crazy. As a result, we all went batshit crazy. But I thought, man, it would be great then too if I could like cut a promo in the bathroom and have them walk in on me. I like have my dad start ripping me apart about how I don't contribute to the house. Like my wife's out there mowing the lawn. I'm like, well, I got allergies, and just totally put myself down a peg. Like cut this super serious promo, and then all of a sudden, nice catch. All of a sudden, just like get brought back to reality, and then like end the promo, but like accidentally send it. Like, I guess we have to delete that. Oh shit, no, not send, boop, and like send it. Because I think that they're funny, and a lot of times, and especially as a heel, because a lot of times there's so many heels that don't want to put themselves under.
Yeah.
But that's because they weren't trained properly, and they don't understand that that's the heel's job, is to go under and put the babyface over. And like that's one thing, and I think that's what gets me in trouble then, is where my buddy's like, oh brother, you're too big, you shouldn't be taking those bumps. Like that's the job, like that's the goal, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always kind of been a fun thing to play with, but definitely we'll take the long way back to answer that question. working in Lewistown was definitely the moment I realized, like, yeah, this is like I've got this figured out. I think I know how to do this now. And I did a couple Ring of Honor seminars where they really showed me how to work as a babyface. And then like after that it was on, and then I was like, oh yeah, babyfaces also sell some merch too, because gone are the days of the heel getting 20% of the babyface's, merch cut. So it kind of smartened me up to a little bit of business. But it really taught me how to work as a babyface, and it was so much fun. And like now that I kind of figured out like the gimmick, it became so much easier to just, all right, yeah, this is how I want to approach this match. This is how I want to approach this match. All right, this match should probably be a little more, so we can do that. And now, like in a tag team, it's cool because it's something I've never done before, and I don't have a whole lot of experience with. So getting to work tag teams, like we worked South Philly's Finest, Shane Malice and I, learned a shitload from those guys. We worked A.K. Willis and his tag partner, whose name is escaping me. But we worked them, learned a shitload from those guys. The Beastmasters learned a lot from them just by working with these different tags who have either been tag teams for a while or have been in a lot of tag team matches. Like I think the Beastmasters, maybe I think one guy was filling in, but still worked a lot of tag team stuff like with another partner. So it was real easy for those guys to kind of come together, and it was really nice to just kind of sit under their learning tree and absorb all the info that they had to give us.
You know what tag team I miss? Remember the Payne Brothers?
Yes.
The old Outbreak call back there, the Payne Bros.
I ran into Kyle Payne. God, where were we?
Dude, the Payne. So my first ever Outbreak show, I was hooked because of you and the Payne Bros. I was like, oh, these are my favorite. They were like, you guys are my favorite guys there. Actually, the first show I ever went to, first independent show ever was AXW in the Pottsville Firehouse. And it was so tight in there and so little, like the good, yeah. And the first match of the card was Sammy Pandora versus Vanity or Wrestle Bay. And the whole time I was cheering the heels, and I was drunk as shit. And I just hear Sammy Pandora, and I'm thinking, Pandora, what can I do to, like, she's the good guy, so I'm gonna boo her, but what can I say that would like be the heckle line? And I remember she's beating her, and I didn't know Vanity or Wrestle Bay's move set or what she does, and I didn't know she does this move, and I kind of set her up as a fan because I kept just chanting, break her box, and she puts her in the corner and crushes her with a Shattered Dreams, and the place erupted.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, the Blue Meanie was there. I remember that was my first independent wrestling show. Yep.
That's sweet. That's awesome. But yeah, I ran into Kyle Payne.
We gave Ryan Vox the biggest pop of his life too, because he came out and we're like, our drunk song was is Motley Crue's Kickstart My Heart. So he comes running out to Motley Crue, and my whole section just started.
You guys are going bananas.
And we're singing. We're like, yeah, Kickstart My Heart. Yeah, it was really great. It was a great night. But go ahead, Kyle Payne.
So I ran into Kyle Payne. I was doing a show with Pat Shamrock as another gimmick. He wanted to do. He's like, oh yeah, blah blah. I know you do. You're kind of out. So wondering if maybe you wanted to do one with me. I'm kind of going out on my end, and wondering if you want to do that French Canadian gimmick again. If you want to bring out old Duke Lapel. And I thought, yeah, what the hell, why not? It didn't take a whole lot of convincing. And we went through and we worked everything up, and then I get there and I show up, I'm unloading my stuff, and I'm thinking, who is this giant handsome man? And it turned out it was Kyle. So I walked right up to him and I took a picture and I sent it to his wife. Oh my God, oh my God, he's here. And it was a good time. It was a lot of fun to just sit back and kick it with those guys.
So we'll kind of only question I want to ask this one, because I don't know the actual answer to, and if it's too personal or you're not willing to reveal it, you don't have to answer this. But what made you turn the boots in that night at the Hamburg Fieldhouse and walk away for a while?
dick cancer. It was so big, it just got too hard to put in my trunks. And I wasn't about to go back to tights. I spent way too much money on a spray tan. No, I was going through custody issues with my kid, and not like severe stuff, nothing like no horror stories. Oh, that's my water bottle. I want that. And yeah, I would much rather be dad any day of the week and watch my kids suck at sports and sit around and eat oranges, and I'd much rather do that than be at house, right?
That's the clip. That's the clip.
So, yeah, that's the tagline. So we go and I turn him in, and that's that. And then months on the road, he's like, "Daddy, when are we ever going to go to another wrestling show?" I was like, "Let Daddy make some calls, boy. We'll get it going." So I started back up, and now every time I have a show, the kid's at his fucking mom's house for the weekend. And it's just, I think since his mom and I have been divorced, he's been to 3 shows, and I've probably had like 50 matches, and he's been to 3 of them just because that's the way the weekends work out.
Yeah.
But I also try not to book a whole lot when he's here, because those are long days. He's 9, so it's tough. It's tough to hold his concentration, and I don't want. I've never wanted him to be a burden on anybody. I didn't want him to become somebody else has to watch him, or I have to bring him, bring him somewhere for the show or whatever, and have him like sit in a corner or something like that. But
wasn't he at the one show where he was just beating the shit out of everybody in the locker room?
Yeah, that was one.
Yeah,
and then he did 2 others. He did 2 others where we were. One was in like Mr. Stacks for Jamal for 7 Mountains, and another one was in York. What's up, buddy? You want to say hello? I'm doing a podcast. You want to say hello to everybody?
Hello.
What up, dude?
Anthony
Blackwell Jr. Exactly.
There it is.
I did see you hit. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Got a hit. Can I pitch to you right now? You want me to pitch to you? Yeah, we can pitch a little bit.
We could wrap it up. We can wrap it up.
Well, buddy, why don't we wait till everybody leaves so that nobody judges Daddy's terrible pitching form? This could be a terrible idea. We did this before. I hit him twice. But it's part of the game. He's got to get tough. He's got to get tough. That was it. He was kind of asking about it, and I thought, well, yeah, we could probably do some. And then some turned into a little, and then some turned into, I got tendonitis in both my Achilles tendons, and this, was pushing 300 pounds, and I was like, well, maybe I should. Patrick, is that you? Brand new helmet. I swear to God, this kid. I tell you.
And they're cheap, right? They're super cheap
helmets. Oh, yeah. So all this equipment is just $12, $13 at Ames. It's no big deal.
Yeah. It's not tax write-offs.
Fucking $80 helmet. Yeah, that's what it should be. Tax write-off with my work credit card or something. But no, so we did that, and then I thought, I'm kind of banged up, kind of beaten up, and maybe after a while, like it'll kind of go away. And I started working out again, hitting the gym. I lost some weight, and I've been feeling really good. Like all my aches and pains have kind of gone away. And then it was like, maybe this can kind of be a thing again, and I can go and do some stuff. And then my buddy was like, "Oh, Bubba, we should be a tag team, Laszlo." I was like, yeah, that could work. Like we don't have to do as much. We'll both have less time. It'll be a little easier on our bodies physically. This is a great idea. And, Laszlo's pretty big too. So then it was like, well, who the hell is going to book us as a tag team? Because we're so big. And then they did a show in Hamburg. Laszlo was there. I went to say hi, ran into Kevin, and Kevin was like, "Hey, how you feeling?" I go, I'm okay. I'm good. He goes, "Good. Next month, you and Laszlo tag team. You run out and save him, and then blah 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 blah." Yeah. I guess so. I guess that's what we're gonna do. And then ever since then, we've kind of just been like going. and it's been a fucking blast.
Yeah,
You know,
you guys have
nice
a lot of fun
because I'm not
chemistry.
100%. And it's genuine. You know, we don't have to fake it. We hang out after the show. We hang out before the show. We go out and we'll go out drinking. We'll go out and get some cigars and just hang out. And it's all genuine stuff and in the ring. And I think that's what a lot of folks relate to, because we have a really genuine relationship where we don't have to fake it. And when we, I'm going to peg him with this ball. Bop right in the brain. You know, when we're in the ring, I think that reads through. That reads through, and it makes sense to people that, oh, like, okay, these guys are buddies. And I think that's that guy's got a huge dick. That's what made me really like the Outlaws. Like, those guys hang out, like those guys party together, those guys fuck, like those guys are solid.
Here's what I think you guys should do, and I'm nobody, so this is my pitch though. Is Laszlo should speak as little to no English as possible as a character, like none, and you just act like you know what he's saying, but also he's pure cut and like pure, like no party, no nothing, and you're just trying to corrupt him the whole time. Like,
that's exactly what we wanted to do. I wanted to take him like to strip clubs, and he'd like, no, to the gym. Oh yeah, this is a gym right here. You know, they got all kinds of things in here. All kinds of things in here that we can lift.
The
and
promos would be amazing.
Flip and pull and push and bob and weave. And he goes, the promos, Bubba, the promos we would cut would be so good. And
like him curling and you're just drinking beer.
Yep, exactly. Like I would want to go and get, oh God, I would want to go and get like milkshakes, and he'd want to be at the gym. So it was very much like, all right, well, I'm Road Dogg and you're Billy Gunn. You know, you want to train, and I'll run my mouth, I'll talk shit, and you'll get us out of it. And it was kind of funny that, like Kevin had a similar idea, and Laszlo had a similar idea, and I was kind of thinking the same thing ahead of time. So it was nice that we were all, kind of like from the start on the same page.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. That's exactly how that should have been booked. So everyone that was on that said that's genius. So where can people find you on social media or our upcoming shows?
I'm going to be at Valor Pro Wrestling, at the York Revolution Stadium on May 20th. AXW's next show in June I'll be at, and I mean Snapchat, the Twitter, not Twitter. That's the only thing I don't have. Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. What's the other one that's in the news all the time? TikTok. I've got all of that. Folks can follow me there. I have absolutely no idea what each one of my screen names is, though, because they're all a little different. They all revolve around spaghetti.
Yeah, what's up with the spaghetti ref? Like, what's up with the
So I got picked on as a kid a lot. Go figure. And Edespageddie or meatballs already was the common. Easy boy was the common.
You know what mine was a kid, because the 90s. Tony Baloney was a big one, or Boney Tony, or I'm Boney, I'm Tony Baloney. Like,
you're Tony Boney now, brother.
Yeah.
Boning those rats, brother.
That's what I'm talking about, right? Everybody loves ABJ, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. Damn, betcha.
If anyone has any questions, we are getting close to the end here, so make sure you guys get them in now, because I don't want to keep them too much longer. But Hunter Dillon in the chat says, if you could write a letter to younger Ed House, what would it say?
Don't wrestle.
Don't wrestle.
Don't watch wrestling. Don't be friends with Trav Steinley, who got me into wrestling. What else? Stay away from redheads. No, I think it would probably be. You ready? Because it's coming. I'm bringing the heat on this one. It would definitely be, take care of your body, train. Rehab that ACL when you tear it properly. That's it. Keep on your toes. Ball can come at any time. I almost just pegged the kid in the fucking head. You know, and if you're gonna get into the business and you're a dude, you've got to look like a wrestler. It's a cosmetic industry, and the higher you go, the higher you want to go, the better you have to look. And it doesn't matter how good you are or any of that shit.
Well, you can look a little unpleasing, like cosmetically not pleasing, but you
That's
better
true.
have a personality like Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, if you don't have a body, you better have a mouth.
Yeah.
And that's both true for men and women, but for two totally different reasons.
Yes.
And you know what? I don't give a fuck what anybody says. It's, you know, everybody was shocked at the whole Vince McMahon thing, except the boys.
Yeah,
everybody was shocked
knew.
except the boys. Like, come on, give me a break.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I would say. I would say take care of your body and figure out what you want to do, what your role in the business is. You know, nothing wrong with being a weekend guy, but you got to be honest with yourself. If you're going to be a weekend guy, you're going to get a weekend guy spot. If you want to be a top guy, you got to do top guy work. I am very happy being a weekend guy. As you can see, I'm getting blown up from picking up baseballs and pitching poorly to a 9-year-old. You know, I'm very okay being a weekend guy who's tried to be, you know, a top guy at every company, which is probably a little bit of a long answer, but that's the gist of it.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Well, Ed, thank you so much for doing this and taking time away and playing catch while we're doing it. I love this. This is the best podcast ever. But I wouldn't have it any other way. And I appreciate you taking time out during your kids' game to do the podcast and hang out with me, man, and doing it in general. Like I said, man, you are one of the top entertaining guys in the area, just insanely charismatic, insanely funny, and just backstage, very, very, very giving. And you've given me a lot of advice and a lot of like ways to handle things in the business. You were my first ever backstage interview we talked about earlier, where it was just like where I just said curse as much as you possibly can so I can learn how to video edit, and you went off. And then I wanted to do an interview at Yams, who blew his knee out that night, and he couldn't stand up, so you came in and did the interview as Yams, with Yams sitting right off camera. And I was so bad this is where I learned I can never be a backstage interviewer, because I just broke. I laughed. I was staring right at Yams and him laughing, and I was laughing. And then what made me walk away is you're doing the whole "I'm Yams, the working man," doing your thing, and you're like, "That answer your fucking question?" And then you like cut right back at Ed House. You mother, like you continued the first promo. So like your first promo, you blew up because Yams and Chubby Daddy teamed up and screwed you out of a title shot. So then the whole thing is you were trying to say like you want your title shot back. So then I think
Yams. That was the same night. I think that's the same night that Chubby Daddy was with my kid too.
Yep. You came into the Yams promo and then cut right back to angry Ed House from the last promo, and you're like, and you mother, you start cursing, and you're like, someone take the microphone before I throw it, baby.
Yeah, because we had gotten the thing in the show too. Good job today, buddy. Good game. I love you. Have a kiss for the world to see. There we go. Like a real man.
Like a real man. If Tom Brady can kiss his kid, so can you.
That's true. Hey, see you, buddy. I love you. See you, Greg. Yeah. What's tomorrow? Oh, that's right. It's Friday tomorrow.
Yep.
Oh, pictures on Saturday. Did you get a haircut? Nice. You have no idea. There's a fucking mess. Been in that baseball hat for fucking 3 hours now. It's a fucking disaster. But you know, that working Yams the Working Man promo was probably my best work.
Yeah.
Whenever I get to pretend to be somebody else, I usually have a pretty good time.
And you were mumbling the music, and I remember as soon as we cut the music, you were still in character, and you go, because you walked out a set of doors, and then we had to let you back in, and you literally came back to the door, and you looked, and I was right in the face, and he goes, one other question, how did you get the best fucking music in this fucking company?
Yeah, because it was like, because that was back when like Ryan wanted everybody to use non-licensed music.
Yeah,
Because it was
which
going to go
everyone
online
should.
or some bullshit like that, and he didn't want to pay copyrights for like the Beastie Boys or whatever the
Yep.
fuck anybody was using.
And it's you're at an age now where if you try to upload your shows to like YouTube or the internet, and if it has copyrighted music, it'll mute your show.
Yeah. So it'll fuck your stuff right up. So we did some of that, and I'm thinking like, this fucking guy's got the best goddamn tune. I was like, they are best friends, so I guess it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But he's got the best fucking theme music, and I always thought that was bullshit. Yam picked it out himself. Oh, fuck all he did. Your ass is purple.
He picked
Somebody
it out himself.
Approved it.
He had the first round pick. He had the first round pick.
That's what it was. He got first crack at all the Ryan Vox promoter music that Vox didn't want to use, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I love it. Ed, thank you so much. I had an absolute blast. Everyone go follow Ed on all social media. It's something Ed and Spaghetti, but we have it all down. The comment says, this guy said fucking 8 times in 12 seconds, and I wouldn't have it any other way. More people need to book Ed House. I need to do commentary on more Ed House matches. Yam had a match with Rebel, and it was taken down because of Rebel's music.
That's weird. I thought it would have gotten taken down because Rebel's a fucking scumbag, but who knew?
That might have been a thing too. But so definitely go check that out. And listen, my last plug, because I'm about to play some music as well. If you need your own music and you don't want copyright hits, the guy who does all my podcast music, the Converse Kid, is in my link tree below. Hit him up if you need music. If you're a podcaster, if you're a wrestler, if anything like that, he can hook you up with really good music. He has very affordable prices, and he literally plays every single instrument that you're going to hear on this outro. And this is the Converse Kid. Ed House, episode 55. Thank you, brother, so much.
Double nickel, buddy. Anytime. I apologize. I know it was a little hairy here, but I appreciate you sticking with me and us working this out tonight, man.
Audio was perfect. I thought it was a cool moment. Nice backdrop, like sunset going on behind you.
Look at that. It writes itself.
Yeah.
You can hear the collective squish of women's seats with the sunset in the background.
There it is.
Just moistening, glistening, rainbows in living rooms from sea to shining sea.
Oh, and if you need cock art, hit up Ed House. He does great cock art.
Absolutely, cock art.
You got to start posting that more again. We need to bring it back.
I think I might do like a monthly reminder of Cocktober, which all started because I follow a lot of artists on Instagram, and they do Inktober, and I'm like, that's stupid. It don't even rhyme.
Yeah.
It should at least rhyme, like October, Cocktober. It's like, oh my god, I'll draw 30 dicks. This will be perfect. And for the first 3 years, my Instagram would get shut down. It wouldn't, like the bots would hack me. Yeah. So then I slowly had to think, well, maybe because I'm drawing like actual dick, maybe if I gimmick it up a little bit. And then one year I made it the whole year through, and I'm like, this is a lot of fucking work. Yeah. And then the next year I tried it again, and I got halfway through, and work got crazy. And then I tried again. This was last year or the year before with all horror stuff. And I got like 12 days in, and they shut it down. And then last year, I made it the whole year. I made it the whole way through.
I might have to commission you for a special ABJ Cocktober art piece of art.
I would love a BJ cock art.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang it up on my wall. Yeah, that we need to figure something out. All right, well, here's some Converse, Kid. We'll see you guys next time. We are live back again. What is this? The 4th. So the next episode, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. Next episode, the 8th, which is, I believe, is that Monday? Monday the 8th.
I believe so.
7 p.m. He was in the chat. Ryan Vox will be the next guest on the ABJ podcast. Dude's been supportive of me as a content creator and watched me go from the content creator to commentary to you name it in this business. I think I've done everything but get in the ring and take a bump. When it comes to production and everything, I've rung bells. I've done it all. But very supportive the entire time. Excited to have him on Monday. Then the next one after that will be Deshaun Pratt on the 9th. So that'll be the next day on Tuesday. And then that Thursday will be Jay the Key Evans, which is a dude out of the Florida area, very, very talented. But we'll see you guys then with 3 amazing interviews next week. We're grinding away. This is going to be a really busy month, and the following month we're going to go back to just probably 2 a week and call it a day. But thank you everyone who's been listening and supporting. If you're on Spotify as well, make sure you leave, or any audio source, leave a review. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, make sure you hit the likes, the shares, get it out there. Those likes and algorithms help out more than you know. And we'll see you on Monday with Ryan Vox. Here's the Converse Kid, and we're out of here.